It is a nice, bright, and shiny morning here on Wednesday, April the 16th. It is 0944 hours, and you're watching t3knu and listening to it as well. I'm your host, Doll, and I'll be guiding you through a very short show today. But before we get started, let me kind of just move aside here. We have a bit of a guest today. Come on in, One. One isn't quite as shy as yesterday's guest, but here we are. How are you doing this morning, One?
Oh, I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. So, One, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I've been a star of a couple of animated shows, particularly one about the NASDAQ when the tech bubble collapsed a few years ago.
Oh, yes, I remember that. That was quite the event, wasn't it?
Yes, well, kind of past history now, so it's nice to be back and here with you on your
episode 2, so I hope it goes well. Quick. Thank you for that, by the way, One, and again, welcome.
Thank you.
So, we have a little point here that we wanted to make about the subject of software licenses, which I'm sure you know a few things about there, One.
Oh yes, definitely, of course, definitely. Very, very important area of software is the licenses that are used, because of course every creator of software, whether it's a company or a foundation, will have quite often its own license with its brand, and that license dictates how you are to use the software that they create, which is quite foundational. It would be kind of like every car manufacturer having its own license according to how you as a driver of its vehicle is to use its car.
Interesting explanation, interesting. Yes, the whole subject of license is very different here with computers and software, and of course we would be remiss not to point out too that the internet relies very heavily on software because it is a computerized network. But it dawned on me, I've been trying to sort of configure in my mind here how the licenses of software can be kind of explained in terms of how significant they are. And I thought I'd maybe float this past you.
Go ahead.
Software licenses, software and computers, kind of what flags are like to nationalism. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think that there is some accuracy there for sure, I would say.
I don't know, kind of a useless endeavor there. I think another one there that's kind of useless for humanity. I'm not too big on flags and
Fucking flags flapping.
yeah, exactly. Anyways, so I thought get that off the table first here. The main thing I wanted to get into, and I would say maybe isn't the biggest subject in the world, but certainly addressing the baby boomers has been kind of a bit of a thing for us here on t3knu.
Yes, well, of course, it's a big thing for both of us in our lives here. I think for everyone, really, the baby boomers have quite a dominant voice in North America, and there's a big need in North America to change over the infrastructure, our bridges and roads and other capacity, and that greatly came about as a result of the activities of World War II, but we need to be remotivated to rejuvenate all that infrastructure, which is going to be very costly. And I don't know.
Are we going to really be motivated to do that is what I'm wondering.
Yes, well, exactly. What was your point then?
Well, I think it's probably come up for me several times, this whole thing of the liberty of our individual here, the liberty, if you will, of our individuality, kind of been replaced by the liberal with capitalism. And my thinking here was coming from while I was watching the business news and the spoils of war, the World War II spoils that were divvied up essentially by economists.
Yes, what did they call that? I think it's a forest or something like that.
I actually know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name either. It was Brentwood Agreement, I think. But anyway.
Yeah, I think that's it, actually.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyways, it's not really important now. What I was thinking was, what would an economist do if they were given the spoils, huge spoils of such a huge war? Would they, put forward an agenda of culture?
Well, no, probably not.
Would they put forward an agenda of, say, language, right? Communication with all the different languages involved in World War II?
No, not really a big area for economists.
Yeah, so exactly, you help prove my point here. One, oh my gosh, it's like economists' agenda is financing.
I'm shocked. Really, I am.
Yeah, I mean, so what we ended up with, of course, was this unholy trinity of the others.
Gee, I wonder which is worse now.
Exactly.
I mean, is capitalism a little liberty? Or liberty is worse than capitalism?
Well, actually, I was thinking more along the lines of which is worse, liberalism or capitalism than liberty, but okay.
All right, well, I guess, are we ending on that note?
Yeah, go ahead. Take us out one.
You've been watching and listening to t3knu with your host Dahl and myself, your co-host One. Thank you for tuning in, and